tonight. The seedy tales of sex trafficking, with reports up to 2,000 women are forced to work as sex slaves in Australia. A 5-year university study has found that up to 2,000 women are illegally trafficked to Australia each year as sex slaves. It says most are starved of access to translators, trauma counsellors and proper health care. The findings have prompted calls for government intervention, but one sector of the sex industry says the report grossly exaggerates the situation.
Hong Kong-born student Coco says working conditions in this Sydney brothel are safe, lucrative, but most of all, consensual.
I'm able to, negotiate with my client. I'm able to negotiate with my boss. There is no, forcing me to just take a bit money and doing something that I don't like to do.
But that's not always the case, according to Associate Professor Julie Hepworth, who co-authored the study into service provision and policy development for trafficked women.
Many women who come to Australia who've got no intention of even working in the sex industry and end up there. A lot of this is hidden. There's about 1,000. The hidden nature of the problem makes it very difficult to give exact figures.
But Jules Kim, who manages a program for migrant sex workers in Sydney, questions the authenticity of the high numbers.
We know that trafficking is a fairly isolated phenomena in Australia. It's not supported by the evidence in the field. Yet, if you actually read the report, that number was actually pulled from a previously discredited research. They actually didn't look into the numbers of trafficking victims.
Ms Kim fears overstating trafficking numbers can lead to valuable resources like healthcare and policing being misdirected to a comparatively small group.
Buying into this kind of myth of thousands of trafficked sex workers, we're stigmatising and marginalising willing migrant sex workers, but also denying assistance to people who really need it.
Overall, the Australian Federal Police says the number of trafficking victims in Australia is relatively low. While it's clear the practice does take place, the question of just how widespread it is remains unanswered. In the last financial year, the Australian Federal Police investigated 41 new cases. Authors of the study say the government focus on border protection comes at the cost of human rights, and more health services and support must be provided. Luke Waters, World News Australia.
Pope